Hello everybody out there, this is Garrett here with 11 Bang Bang again, and I was just rummaging through some old parts boxes looking for parts for the 620 Stevens here, and I come across this and I completely forgot we had it. This is a Herbert and Schmidt, however you want to pronounce it, model 21S22. And this gun has been around for a really long time. Like I said, I completely forgot it existed. We have quite a few single action revolvers around here, and this one slipped through the cracks, I guess. But what this is a little 22 single action revolver, and I bought this years and years and years ago at a gun show. When I bought it, it had no ejector rod housing, of course, just like that. It had no front sight. Somebody had taken and cut the barrel off. Of course, it wasn't in as bad a shape as it is now. Somebody had cut the barrel off, removed the sight from here, and made a real slick little fast draw 22 out of it. And I got this, actually, as I recall, I believe my brother Juan actually bought this that day. But he sold it to me not very long after that, and I used this all through my teen years as a fast draw fanning gun. And of course, when you do that, you tend to break some parts. And the first thing that went on this was the handspring, and it would only, it would only rotate if you pointed it down and cocked it. And then the next thing to go, of course, from multiple sessions of dry firing of a 22 long rifle, you should never do that. But I didn't really know any better, and I just did it. And the next thing, of course, to go was a firing pin. And so I actually took this gun, and I believe I gave it to Ethan, and it was his first revolver. And he did some gunsmithing work to it and made it work. He actually took a finishing nail and stuck it to a piece of duct tape. Let me show you, it's not there anymore. And he simply put the piece of duct tape across here with a finishing nail stuck in the bottom of that, where it was lined up to hit rims, and he used this gun for years. When the tape would start getting not sticky or he lost his nail, he'd put another one in, and he went years and years and years as his pistol. And he beat the living daylights out of it. He carried it every day, and like I said, he just constantly used that old finishing nail for a firing pin and a piece of duct tape. And he got to where he put thousands of rounds through this gun. And he literally, you've seen him out there today with revolvers and things like that, cutting playing cards, things that I could never do. Well, he learned to do all of that by shooting thousands of rounds through his teen years through this gun that had a short barrel and no sights whatsoever. He just learned where to hold and kept shooting it. Now, I do want to fix this gun. It's got some major issues. Like I said, the handsprings broke. Somewhere along the line, we've completely lost the cylinder, the base pin. Like I said, no ejector housing. I would like to put one of those on there. And we have no catch pin there. But let's see what we can't do with this old gun. I'm going to take it apart. I can't show you on YouTube me actually taking this gun apart because YouTube doesn't like that. So I'm going to take it apart off camera, and then we'll talk about it again here in just a second when I got it. I'm just going to go ahead and put all these in here. Hammer. We got our barrel. We have our hand. We have our loading gate. Barrel pin. Little bitty thing, don't want to lose that. I went ahead and took this frame and I put all the screws that are there back in it, but not tightly. I'll still be able to get them out. A lot of times when you're ultrasonic cleaning with a degreaser like a Simple Green, you don't want to leave the screws in, but in this case they just barely started in. That way I remember where they all go. Alright, and we got the trigger bolt spring and the screw that holds it. I'm going to go ahead and throw these aluminum pieces in here. I don't know how the Simple Green will affect them. I'm putting everything on this gun in this cleaning basket with the exception of the grips, because there's no brass to worry about here. So, alright, I'm letting the solution heat up over there, and then we're going to run it over there to the ultrasonic cleaner. Okay, our ultrasonic cleaner here. By the way, I got this ultrasonic cleaner because I watched a video from Dustin of Guns of the West. It showed cleaning cap and ball revolvers in an ultrasonic cleaner. But since it's already warm, I'm just going to simply take and lower this whole basket into that solution. Now, this is a solution of Simple Green and water. And this ultrasonic cleaner is just going to shake the dirt out of this gun, and there is a lot of dirt in it. So I'm going to go ahead and set it to its highest setting, which is runs by seconds here. 480. We're going to put, I'll leave the lid off for just a second. We're going to And alright, here we are after a run. You can see that that green water has turned black. And it's fairly warm. And we lift our basket out. Oh yeah. And alright, here we are. Everything is out. I've dried everything thoroughly. You want to do that because if it's wet, flash rusting will set in really quick. It really did a good job of erasing a lot of that old paint, which is fine because we're going to refinish this anyway. And while that was over there cleaning, I actually dug around on the internet and found a place that had some parts for it. So I need to get those ordered, and which means I'll be putting this in a Ziploc bag until they get here. Okay, everybody, the parts are all in. We just decided to go ahead and spend the $30 and order a new barrel with the sight already on it. It was not that much more expensive. All right, we got several new parts here. We got our base pin, we got our hand, and we have our catch for the base pin here. So everything's in. We did discover an issue that I was not aware of to begin with, and that is that hole for the back of the firing pin should not be that big. And obviously, if you look at it here, if I can get the camera to focus, you can see that what's happened here is the dry firing of this gun has actually broke what should be a small piece of metal here that holds the firing pin in place. Just broke it out. So at this point, we've already put a lot of money in this gun. We are nearly at the point of buying a new Heritage Rough Rider as far as the money we've spent on this gun. So we are going to continue, and we're going to try to make it work. On to the next part of this project. I'm going to actually try to reassemble this gun with everything except the firing pin and make sure everything else works. And we'll see what it looks like here in a second. Hand is in, base pin is in, new barrel is on, ejector rod housing, everything is together. This is actually a sharp looking little gun when you got the right length barrel and the sight on it. We still don't have the rear sight, of course, in, which is a dovetail rear sight. I haven't been able to locate one. They're pretty rare. But I don't think you actually need it because if you look down there, we do have a groove sight. It's kind of broad at the back, but it's serviceable. And loading gate works. Everything works. The half-cock notch works. The gun is back in working condition. Locks up tight, down, locks up tight, back up, free the cylinder, and let's see if I can do this on one-handed on the camera. We have our ejector rod housing in it. Alright, the only thing we have left is this nasty little firing pin issue that we have. Like I said, that hole is not supposed to be that big. We are going to have to do some fixing on this, but, you know, sometimes that's just how it goes. Oh yeah, by the way, guys, if you're wondering, this little groove right here, that's for our safety that actually went in these. This was kind of the first Heritage Rough Rider in that form. It used to have a safety bar. I don't believe we are going to put the safety bar back in it. We do need to put a little more crimp tighten on this barrel. I got it sticking out one thread too far. But it's actually going to require a barrel wrench to get that in there tighter, and I don't have one here right now. So we'll do that at the end because this gun is going to need a complete refinish job. And we're going to get that done, of course. But for the moment, not looking too bad. Okay, guys, I may have made a little bit of a discovery here on the Herbert Schmidt. And that is, I started recognizing some parts in it, so I thought to myself, doesn't this look familiar? This gun, I mean, if you look at about everything on this gun, it is almost identical to the Heritage Rough Rider. Including, I've already tried it, you can swap out the ejector rod housing. You can actually swap the grips out. Here, let me show you. Alright, take a look on the Herbert Schmidt frame here. And let me remind you, this gun is from anywhere from the 50s to the 70s. And let's take a look at the Heritage grip here. This gun is almost a carbon copy, with the exception of that safety groove in this one. The safety on this one is a little different, but these guns are almost carbon copies all the way down to the front sight. It is kind of uncanny. Let's try a little experiment. I've often heard it said you should not buy a Ruger Wrangler because it is not made out of the quality of steel as the Heritage Rough Rider, as far as the frame's concerned. And I believe that. Matter of fact, I even said that in my own video. Well, here I have a magnet, and just to prove that it's a magnet on this bore light. So, let's test and see if this magnet sticks to the frame of the Herbert Schmidt, and of course it does not in any way. Let's see if it sticks to this barrel, because the barrel is steel. Yep, it sticks really well. Let's see if it sticks to the Heritage Rough Rider steel. Yep. Let's see if it sticks to the Heritage Rough Rider frame. Uh-oh, guys. It would appear that the Heritage Rough Rider is actually made out of the same stuff as the old Herbert and Schmidt German guns. Interesting. Let's try a few more tests here. There you have it, guys. The Herbert and Schmidt with the Heritage Rough Rider grips on it. I like these a lot better than the grips that were on it because they were just way too fat. However, I think we're going to get us a set of Heritage Rough Rider grips to go on this gun. Now, one more little thing here. I have the H&S, if you can see that marked H&S right there. Yep, this is the Herbert Schmidt cylinder. And it's a regular 22 cylinder. So let's give this a try. With the Heritage grips on it, can we insert the Heritage 22 Magnum cylinder? And there you go, guys. Guess what? Heritage 22 Magnum cylinder in the Herbert Schmidt Revolver. Guys, these guns are almost carbon copies. It is a little bit out of time to this, so I'm not going to scratch it up with the pen, but about the only real difference here is you can see that hammer does not have the sharp cutaway on the Heritage, and it does on this. That is because the safety belongs right there on the old Herbert Schmidt, and it's actually on the side on the Heritage. Now, okay guys, that's what the back of the receiver should look like where the firing pin comes through. This is the Heritage Rough Rider. Unfortunately, when we go over to our Herbert and Schmidt, that is what it looks like. And sadly, it used to look like that Heritage, but all those years of hitting that where it was just a piece of tape and nail has actually broken out all around the firing pin cup. So now we have an issue because of the style of gun that this is and the frame. We can't actually just weld that in because this is not steel, it's some kind of alloy, just like the Heritage Rough Rider is. So our only option here, and I'll show you what we got going on here. This is the firing pin. It goes inside this cup with the spring on it. And it should just simply go in through the front of the receiver and touch the back of the receiver and not allow anything but the small protrusion side of the firing pin here to go through the back of the receiver. However, with that completely chipped out, there's no way to fix it. So what we're going to attempt to do here is to weld a small washer on the back of this with the firing pin in it, and then just insert this into where it normally should go. It is held in there in that little groove by a pin that goes through the frame right there, and it will all just be one contained piece, and it should, in theory, work. If not, then we're going to have to get out the TIG welder and possibly do some brazing and see what we can do to fix this frame, because at this point we have come too far to not finish we have more money wrapped up in this gun now than if you just bought a new Heritage Rough Rider. So this is all nostalgia from here on out, the only reason we keep going. And here we are with the original grips in place. Everything in this gun is working. She's not looking too bad at the moment. Like I said, we got to do that work on the firing pin, and then we'll be moving on to the next step. So this is where this video is going to end for now. As I'm speaking right now, the gun is now in the possession of the Wild Snapper on account of we could not fix the firing pin issue ourselves. We tried, it was just beyond us. We did not have the TIG welder experience that we needed to weld such a small thing. And so we sent it out to the Wild Snapper, and he is going to finish it, and he's going to make a video series on it. He already has one video on it out, and I will link to that video in the description of this video. So anyway, trust in God, keep your powder dry. Thanks for watching, and bye.